Now, here's an interesting update to the disastrous, and I do mean disastrous, Disney leaks of Snow White and the Seven Magical People. They were so bad. The entirety of the internet was laughing. I just want to, if you're a non-audio listener, if you're on video, we have obviously a non-white Snow White, skin as brown as snow. I suppose that works like in March when all the snow's got all the salt and the road dirt in it. That is still snow technically. And again, no problem with Rachel Zegler. She just took the job. She had some woke comments about how the story needed to be updated for a modern audience. But the more hilarious part is the seven, and again, they aren't dwarves. They are magical beings. They're not even calling them dwarves. They're calling them magical creatures. Creatures, they're all humanoid. If you're going to go magical creatures, at least use some CG and make it interesting, right? And by the way, if you have magic, then why do you need tools? Snow White and the Seven Refugees, some people call it. Now, this picture comes out. Everybody's hilarious. Everybody's mocking it. The funny part, like the particularly funny part about the removal of dwarves, is that Peter Dinklage, the most famous dwarf currently, is the reason they cut all the dwarfs in the movie, because he was personally offended about dwarves. So Disney cut them. You know what's interesting is, so instead of getting great iconic acting jobs for seven people who have dwarfism, now there's only one. So there's only one. So Peter Dinklage pulled the ladder up behind him, of Game of Thrones. I drink wine and I know things, that guy. He had a little melty, and he pulled up his little step ladder behind him with his reacher grabber. And now seven actors with dwarfism didn't get a job. That's woke, I guess. Why wouldn't you just say they should write the dwarves more heroically? Maybe don't have a dwarf named Dopey. Okay? I mean, technically, if you look at the Lord of the Rings and they have hobbits, which are halflings, I feel like it's a fair comparison to compare them to dwarves, perhaps, right? Nobody's making fun of Frodo. Nobody was making fun of Samwise Gamgee, maybe the bravest person in that whole movie. Instead of just asking for better writing, he got them all fired. So now that the dwarf's job will be played by full-grown working adults. And the backlash was so bad that Disney tried to lie about the photo. Well, I suppose Gimli is dwarf too. So yeah, the Lord of the Rings had a whole race of dwarves, and they were honorable and strong and powerful and fighters. The women weren't that great looking. But Snow White set pics stir anti-woke criticism. But the interesting part about this, Disney initially claimed the pictures from the live-action set were fake. They were so bad, and the backlash was so horrible that they tried to pretend that it was fake. Editor's note, The story has been updated to reflect that after Disney United States spokesperson initially declared the photos published by the Daily Mail were fake, the studio later said that the photos were from the production, but were not official photos. My prediction right now, this movie does not get a theatrical release. This movie does not get a theatrical release. That's my opinion. It's going to be so bad that they're just going to put it onto, they're going to try to memory hole it on a Disney Plus. That's what they're going to do. The Daily Mail on Friday published photos from the set of Disney's upcoming live-action Snow White, sparking a storm of conservative backlash against the actors, whom with the newspaper described as being different genders, ethnicities, and heights. As for comment on the brouhaha, a Disney spokesperson initially told the Daily Beast the photos are fake and not from our production, and added that the Mouse House wanted a correction from the Mail. So not only did they deny, they said it was fake. Not only did they say it was fake, friends, but they demanded a retraction and an apology. That's how committed they were to the lie. This movie, I don't believe Disney will put out in the box office. I am almost certain. Because, first of all, it looks like a box office disaster. It looks like a low B film where all of these individuals are partaking in some sort of ritual event. The Mail article was published under the headline, Exclusive Snow White and the 7 Politically Correct Companions. First pictures of the new Disney live-action remake show Princess walking with a diverse band of merry men and women after a row over using dwarf actors. It wasn't long before conservative corners of the internet balked at the photos, chastising the wokeness of the casting. I mean, is it deniable? Is there any part of this story that is deniable? It is, of course, over the top woke. And so they didn't hire dwarves? Why? So they're just magical creatures. So it's Snow White and the 7 magical creatures. Now, what's interesting to me is that all these creatures look like humans. If you were going to have 7 magical creatures, why isn't one of them a dragon, one of them a pixie, one of them an ogre, one of them a dwarf, one of them a wizard, one of them a witch, one of them a warrior, one of them a cleric, something like that? And then you could have like changed the whole story, and like it could be a actual reimagining as opposed to the reimagined. Like you could have actually done something interesting and unique with this. Instead, they're just like, oh yeah, let's just make sure it looks like we check every box, and we're just going to call them creatures, which seems offensive to call them creatures to me. And, you know, side note, it's not just conservatives. Everybody's laughing at this. The fact that they tried to hide it is the most laughable part of it all. You know, by the way, disgraced Disney CEO pledges to reduce Marvel and Star Wars content. Hey, Disney's finally going to give the customers what they want. Less Disney product. Quote, Disney is slowing down when it comes to making movies and TV series for its Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm franchises. They oversaturated the market. Everyone got sick of it. Nobody wanted it anymore. Nobody. People just said, I'm good. I'm good on the same formulaic Marvel movie. Disney pumping out a unspirited, unoriginal, uninteresting Star Wars movie every 2 years, they burned everyone out. It used to be a big deal when Star Wars was coming out. Now nobody cares about it. Nobody even goes to their Star Wars theme park. They're closing it down. Their expensive LARP for like 10 grand a day, gone. Quote, Marvel is a great example. Disney's a leader in Hollywood. Grooming syndicate is dealing with a huge box office flops, a streaming service losing billions, downgraded stock, and the worst public relations in the company's history, plummeting theme park attendance, and they need to cut costs by $5.5 billion. When not lying with his denials about Disney's obsession, obscene crusade to go after kids, Iger admitted that it comes to flooding the market with lousy Marvel and Star Wars streaming shows. A lot of decisions were made to prop up the company's flagship streaming service, Disney Plus, and beckon more customers. By the way, their stock's down 3.6% today. Marvel is a great example of that, he said. It had not been in the television business at any significant level, and not only did they increase their movie output, but they ended up making a number of TV series. Frankly, Iger admitted, it diluted focus and attention. Yeah, no kidding.